vessel, the first warship built by the United States that was the equal of any ship afloat. It is the story of a nation coming of age, reluctantly putting aside small-town life to accept the mantle of a global superpower. Most of all, it is the story of the men and women who built her and the men who served on her, all of whom were fiercely determined to create the best ship, the most accurate guns, and the finest crew in the Navy. This is also a love story of men for their ship, and I think of a ship for her men. Nevada represents the best of American ingenuity, American dedication to a righteous cause, and American heroism. She rests in the deep now, but her spirit lives on as an inspiration to all who know that it is by strength of arms and dedication to duty that peace is maintained. Whenever possible, I use primary sources in documenting Nevada's history. Especially useful were the ship's logbooks and war diaries. On a number of occasions during my research, I noted discrepancies between the log, the legal record of the ship, and published histories. For the most part, I have relied on the logbooks, with the notable exception of the record for December 7, 1941, which the logbook jumbled a bit, a forgivable error given the awful events of that day. For details of construction and refurbishment, I used the correspondence files of the Bureau of Construction and Repair, and for target practice and other exercises, I sorted through the voluminous files of commander battleships. I also consulted records from the Bureau of Ordnance, the Office of the Secretary of the Navy, the General Board, and other sources. Even for a single ship, it is virtually impossible to evaluate all of the available documentation, and I make no claim of completeness. However, I have tried to access what I thought were the most important records, those that most clearly and accurately tell Nevada's history. Omissions are my responsibility. I intentionally left out details in some cases, such as in describing repetitive training missions and changes in command involving Nevada's 26 commanding officers. 1. Building a better battleship. On January 23, 1911, Philip Andrews sent a handwritten note to Rear Admiral Spencer Wood of the U.S. Navy's General Board. Wood, the Secretary would like today an informal memorandum showing how the all-big-gun battleship was proposed by the GB, General Board, recommended to the Department, how the BU of CR, Bureau of Construction and Repair, delayed a year or more in preparing sketch designs, whether it went to the Board of Construction or not, and what their action was. In other words, how we lost first blood on the Dreadnoughts. Andrews. Andrews was the aide to Secretary of the Navy George von Lengerke-Meyer, and his note has all the hallmarks of a senior official's panic about being asked embarrassing questions. The navies of the world had been surprised in 1906 when Britain introduced the first all-big-gun battleship, HMS Dreadnought, which vastly outgunned anything afloat. The ever-parsimonious U.S. Congress fretted that another technological leap forward might again render millions of dollars worth of U.S. Navy ships obsolete. Wood replied the same day with a tersely written summary of U.S. Dreadnought history. The Navy was thinking about an all-big-gun ship as early as 1903, but lacked the technical capability to deliver a workable design. Struggling just to catch up on such basic issues as guns, armor, and engines, the Navy did indeed fail to appreciate the significance of losing first blood to Britain on the all-big-gun ship. The clear implication in the exchange of notes was that such a slip-up should not happen again. If there were to be another leap forward on battleship design, that leap would be made by the United States. As Rear Admiral Wood penned his response to the Secretary, the U.S. Navy had 33 battleships in the water or being built, an astonishing feat given that the first of these, Indiana, had entered service only in 1895. America's first all-big-gun battleship, USS South Carolina, was approved on March 4, 1905, 7 months before Dreadnought was laid down. But the final designs were not complete until November 1905, and construction did not start until a year after that, well after the British ship was in the water. Chronic delays pushed completion of South